Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Titans University, and this is your next session where we would be talking about something called as AdWords account structure. Don't get confused when I use the word AdWords because Google Ads was formerly called as Google AdWords. 2 years ago, the name got changed to Google Ads. So on that front, let's get started. What you see in front of your screen is a discussion where we would be talking about what is ads account structure when I talk about Google Ads and why is it so important. Alright, so let's get started and see what do we have here. Pardon me for the bad art. That's you who is trying to create a Google Ads account because you wanted to advertise on Google. So the first thing that you would do is go ahead and create a Google Ads account. When you create a Google Ads account, agreed, it's very simple. You just need an email ID and password. You go to ads.google.com. You get started. Fine. So what next? What do you do next? So what you do next is you created the account. Now you don't know what to do because there is a series of steps that the interface shows you. There are a lot of options that the interface shows you. Now you have no clue about what is it that you have to create next, right? So the next thing technically that you would be doing is you would be going ahead and build campaigns. Now campaigns can be assumed to be an entity that resides in a Google Ads account. So when you have a Google Ads account, the first thing you would go ahead and create is a Google Ads campaign. Agreed, I'm pretty sure you will still have a few questions, but just hold on for a couple of minutes because you will get to know the complete picture as we move forward. Build campaigns is the second stage. Now when you start looking at the second stage, it says create ad groups, add keywords, write ads. Now these are all the activities that you would be doing when you create a Google Ads account. We would be discussing each of these things as we move forward. So do not get confused and there is absolutely no need to panic. This is just a step in the series of steps that you would be doing when you go ahead and start creating a campaign when you work with Google Ads. Now that's the second step, which is called as building campaigns. Now, how is the account structured? You're telling me that, okay, I'll teach you how to create a Google Ads account. As of now, I only know that I need to create a Google Ads account if I want to advertise on Google. I created a Google Ads account. Now we're talking about something called as campaigns. So hold on and let's move forward to see what I actually mean. Everything starts with the account. The first thing that you would have to do when you start advertising with Google is you would create a Google Ads account. Now, when you create a Google Ads account, what do you need? All you need is just an email ID and a password. Now, this doesn't have to be only Gmail. It can be any email ID. It can be Yahoo, it can be at ibm.com, it can be anything. Now, once you create a Google Ads account using an email ID and password, you are technically eligible to create 6 accounts. If you remember me saying that in the previous session, hold on to that. That's not the point of the discussion. Fine, I have a Google Ads account. This is the Google Ads account that I've created. What next? An account has something called as campaigns, which is a sub entity of an account. Okay, what next? Campaigns have something called as ad groups. Okay, now this is getting weirder, you may think. Alright, so each ad group has something called as ads and something called as keywords. Now this is the ads account structure. When you create a Google Ads account, you will create a campaign next. When you create a campaign, it'll ask you to go ahead and create ad groups. Then it'll ask you to go ahead and put in some keywords for your ads to show up and some ads that you need to write so that people see your ads when they search for the keywords that you put in. Fine, theoretically it's beginning to make some sense, right? Now what you still have a few questions about. Fine, an account, I know, an email ID and password. Now what is a campaign? Does it hold something, or does a campaign have a purpose, etc., etc., etc.? We will be talking about all these things in detail, I promise. At this point in time, it's very, very important for us to just understand the structure about why an AdWords structure is important. I promise to take you through stages of what a campaign does, what settings does a campaign have, etc. Move forward. Alright, so these are the account limits. Now, it is very important for us to look at what are the ad account limits, right? Now, what ad account limits mean is one email ID can house 6 Google Ad accounts that we understood yesterday. Earlier, it was only one Google Ads account. Now, with one email ID, you can have about 6 Google Ad accounts. One account can house 10,000 campaigns. One campaign can have 20,000 ad groups. One ad group can have 50 ads. When I say 50 ads, I mean 50 active ads. You may have 100 ads, out of them 60 may be inactive, so you still have 40 ads. So at any point in time, each ad group can have about 50 text ads. And one Google Ads account can have about 5 million keywords. Don't get confused with this. I'm not talking about ad groups, I'm talking about an account. So one account as a whole, including the number of campaigns, ad groups that you have, can have about 5 million keywords, which is huge. You wouldn't need those many keywords anyway. Now these are the account limits. Alright, now this is exactly what I'm talking about. Now I created a Google Ads account, okay. Now when I say an account has campaigns, does it only have one campaign? It can have 10,000 campaigns, right? So that's exactly what I'm trying to replicate here. One account can have campaign number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 until 10,000 campaigns. Each campaign can have about 20,000 ad groups, ad group 1, ad group 2, ad group 3, blah, blah, blah. Each ad group can have keywords and it can also have ads. This is exactly where things start making sense to you. So let me tell you what I'm talking about. Let's talk about a company called Dell. Right? If Dell comes to you and they tell you that, hey, you know what, somebody told me Google Ads work, I need to create a Google Ads account as well, can you please help me do that? You will say, all right, why not? So the first thing that you would do is you would create a Google Ads account for Dell. Now Dell has a Google Ads account. What does an account have? Let's go back. An account has campaigns, right? So what do you think can be the campaigns of Dell? Now Dell is a computer accessories and computer hardware company, right? Now you ask them, what do you want to promote? They tell you that, okay, I want to promote laptops and I want to promote, let's say, the Dell new mouse, for example. And they also tell you I want to target or I want to promote my monitors, Dell monitors, right? Now, what do these things become? These things are your campaigns. Now, you will create a campaign for laptops, campaign for mouse, and campaign for monitors. So effectively, if you start looking at this, don't you think a campaign broadly talks about the product category, right? So when I talk about creating campaigns, I'm talking about creating a campaign for a product category. Now, what does a campaign have? Let's go back quickly. Campaigns have ad groups, right? So this is an ad group. Now this is an ad group. This is an ad group. This is an ad group. So similarly, what do you think will be the ad groups for Dell? What do you think will be the ad groups for Dell laptops? Now it can be, let's say, D01 can be a model. These are fictitious names. D03 can be a model. Dell Inspiron can be another model. Now let's say these are 3 different models. So product category is campaign. Models are your ad groups, right? Now similarly, mouse can have different categories. Monitors can have different categories. Let's start naming this. Let's say you have an 11-inch monitor. You have a 13-inch monitor. You have a 15-inch monitor. So all these things become your ad groups. Now what does an ad group have? Each ad group has something called as ads, where you write about the product. You write about best Dell D01 laptop, high performance, 1 TB hard disk, accessories are free, you get a laptop bag, hurry up now, use a credit card and get 10% discount, whatever. That's your ad text. And along with ads, you will also have something called as keywords, right? Now you might say Dell D01 laptop. Now you include keyword like laptop deals. Now how do you put these keywords is a different thing. That's a different session altogether. But right now we're just trying to understand the structure. Now similarly, when you talk about monitors, your keywords can be 11-inch monitor. You can include keywords like best monitors, external monitors, right? So similarly, you will start putting all the keywords and then you will start writing ad texts for your product. So that's pretty much the AdWords account structure, what the Google Ads account structure looks like. So you will create an account first. Each account will have campaigns, which are broadly the product categories. Then you will have different ad groups, which are the model numbers or models for the particular category. Each ad group will have keywords that you research and put in, and then you will also have ads. Now, if I have to take another approach, or let's take another example for that matter. Now, if I have to take another example for us to understand what I'm talking about, now let's say if Amazon wants to advertise, now Amazon becomes your account. Now, what do you think will be the campaigns? Campaigns can be things like shoes, let's say electronics. Then you can have, let's say, what else? You can have things like jeans, and then maybe you can have something called as t-shirts. Now, these becomes your campaigns. Now, then shoes is the campaign. So, what can be the ad groups? Your ad groups can be things like formal shoes, semi-formal shoes, sport shoes, walking shoes, right? And your keywords will only talk about formal shoes here. In this ad group, it will only talk about semi-formal. In this ad group, it will only talk about sport shoes. Here, it will only talk about walking shoes, best walking shoes for men, walking shoes for women, etc. Now, there is another important thing that you have to keep in mind. Maybe somebody can argue and say that, okay, I don't want to create formal, semi-formal. I want to create shoes for men and shoes for women as an ad group. It's completely right. There is no right or wrong in the structure. It's just that after some time you may realize that one structure may work better than the other structure. You just have to be flexible enough to move and navigate through different structures to see until what works for you. Digital marketing, ladies and gentlemen, apart from a few foundational concepts of marketing, is all trial and error, because you never know what works until you try. You can't predict what people will search, right? So you just have to go through a lot of iterations, put in a lot of things, see what people search, include them, remove keywords which people are not searching for, and it's a continuous process. You will understand about this process when we talk about AdWords lifecycle in the next session. But this is about AdWords account, the Google Ads account structure. So this is typically how the Google Ads structure looks like. Now, why do you need a better account structure? I'll just give you one point at this moment, because that's more than important than any other reason. You need a very, very, very detailed account structure for two reasons. One, it should be easy for you to handle and understand things tomorrow. It should be easy for you to organize the account. Tomorrow, if you want to understand how much you spent for your formal shoes campaign, you should have it ready. If I put everything into one account, one campaign, I will have to go manually, and it's a tedious process, and nobody does that. It's a foolish step. So you just have to clearly have a very well classified account structure so that it's easy for your reporting, number one. Number two, the bigger important reason is account performance, or the way your ads perform, whether they show in the first position, second position, third position, first page, second page, third page, depend a lot on how your account is structured. Because if the account structure is easily classified and it's made easy for Google, it finds it easy to look into your account, to look through your account and cater better to the people. And Google wants accounts like that. So the better the account structure, your performance is bound to be better than accounts which don't have a good performance. So that's one reason you should clearly have a very well-defined account structure, because it definitely has an impact on your performance. This is about the account structure, and if you have any questions, you can please go ahead and write to me, and I'll answer those questions. If you don't have anything, I think that's about it for this session, and I'll see you again in the next session. Cheers, guys. Thank you so much. Until then, this is Casey signing off. Thank you for being a part of Titans University. Ciao.